Welcome to Spiritually Raw. I am Jay. This is April, your host and the creators of the Gnostic TV network and the 5D economy. To learn more about our unique multidimensional method for manifesting or becoming a broadcaster also on Gnostic TV, check out our links below or connect with us on Instagram at 5D_mystics. Now, join us today as we navigate the realms of consciousness with our special guests, Rob and Holly Bouchard, global ascension educators, master healers, clearing specialists, and host of the Dimensional Digest, also on Gnostic TV. Links in the description below. Very cool.
Yeah, as cosmic guides for soul transformation and the founders of the Enlightenment and Healing Institute in Midland, Michigan, they harness the very unique ability to channel a person's soul wisdom and specialize in deep level trauma clearing to remove blockages, preventing people from reconnecting to their true self. They are the go-to power couple for soul clearing, shamanic journeying, oracle readings, light language, dream analysis, and cosmic channeling. I don't know what more you could ask for.
But if you want to know more, right?
Make sure to check all of their links are in the show description below. And welcome to the show. We're super excited to have you on today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, and nice to meet you all again.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
You guys look really great together. A great vibrational match there. So let's dive in. Let's get the world to get to know you. The power couple, the go-to power couple that does this. Do you find that your connection together as a masculine and feminine has really been bringing this together? I mean, do you feel that is this a working relationship, a husband wife, or do you feel like it really is that energy that's making it all work?
After she had met us or met me, and we got together and we defined that, I'm carrying the female counterpart and she's the male counterpart. And we did our first session together. The difference between her doing it alone and us doing together was just absolutely mind-blowing. And it's gotten to the point where some of our clients have coming back and they're like, can we have both of you? It's just different.
Cool.
So yes.
They would say, we want Rob there.
So absolutely, when we have this energy combination, it is just this massive force coming at you. And you guys probably have that same type of energy when you two get together and are doing things together like that.
Yes, you can create magic. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Holly, now you're a walk-in.
Yes.
Oh.
You first explain to everyone what that is, and I'd love to hear about your walk-in experience.
Sure. This is something I realized, well, actually, it was brought to my attention by a celestial counterpart of mine. I'm not sure who, but with a little investigation, I discovered I was actually born with a female Lyran soul. And the counterpart that came to me, I was literally took my conscious out of my body, and I found myself back in time. And they said, you need to see this. And I actually was in a small little upper flat with this counterpart of mine, much bigger, looking at my small self, like 4 years old. And I think it's where my natural father had an apartment, and he had made a bed on the couch for me. And I was like, why are we here? And I don't know what it was, but I literally relived that moment when our souls were exchanged.
Between
I didn't
entity between you and this entity?
Oh no. Okay. So my little self was there, my 4-year-old self. He told me what age. And he had just said, you're a walk-in. This is what occurred. I had no memory of it whatsoever. In fact, as I thought about it, I had no memory before 4 years old of my life. So evidently it was just too tough. And my female Lyran soul couldn't handle the circumstances and called out for assistance. So this soul in me stepped in, and I'm not sure if that was written in the soul contract or not, but I think it was a caveat. If such and such happens, this can occur. So basically I had to die, and it was at the hands of my natural father, bless his heart. And then the soul, my original soul left, the other one came in, this one now. And all my life, up until a few years ago, I did not know I was walking.
So wait, can I backtrack on that? So you said you had to die. How exactly did that occur?
Well, I was standing there watching my little self and saw my father at that time bring a pillow and smothered me.
Wow.
So as I was shown, I felt it too. I felt all of it as a 4-year-old in my adult body.
As a 4-year-old boy, right?
Girl.
You're a 4-year-old girl.
Okay. Yeah. And so he did it. He was official, you know, he was satisfied I was gone because he just did not want me in his life. And he went for a long drive to come up with a story. This was like in the middle of the night. By the time he came back, the soul exchange had occurred. And there I was sitting up, playing with my doll on the couch. And he was absolutely
shocked,
flabbergasted. Yeah. And he never looked at, you know, I very little contact as I grew up with him. But whenever he did, he would look at me so strangely, and I never knew why. And that is like, how did you come back to
I would
life?
imagine that would do it. Hey, you know what?
And I tell you, until now, no one knew this. Till this minute, no one else knew this. You got away with it.
Well, how you feel with it all now?
That's
Like after a
incredible.
couple of years of if it came back to you a couple of years ago, like how did you reconcile all this emotionally as a person, as a being, as like, you know?
Well, after this occurred, I was actually here in the office one day, and it was during the height of COVID, and I hadn't seen him in decades. And all of a sudden, his soul, his consciousness in this ball of energy jumped into my abdomen immediately. As soon as he got there, I knew exactly who it was. And I just kind of went, oh, you know, and that's, I spoke to his consciousness. I'm like, why are you here? Are you dead? You know? And I really didn't get an answer. So I just sort of read the energy, and it was kind of, he must have maybe gotten really sick and was close to death, but didn't end up. But that's when I made amends when he was there. You know, he did say telepathically, I came to apologize. And I said, well, that's really good. I've already forgiven you, I've forgiven you by now and let all that go. But the one person you did not forgive is my inner child. You traumatized. So I said, you stay here. See, her energy body is inside mine too. And all of us, our inner child is there always. So I said, you make amends to her. She's the one you have to forgive. I mean, she has to forgive you. So he actually stayed a couple days before that, till my inner child was satisfied enough. And then he went back. So
I was going to ask, because this is a very interesting dynamic you have. You have Rob, and then you have you as the walk-in. So Rob, because a lot of people can relate to, you know, maybe their partner is spiritual, but the other person is not. How did you handle this conversation?
Lots of mind-blowing moments, and
from the moment we met,
I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to process this a little bit. And she'll be saying, and
I won't hold back.
Many stories. She doesn't hold back, and that's what I love about her. And she's like, I just can't make this stuff.
I
Stuff
couldn't
up.
make
And he's
this
like,
stuff up.
I'm not
No
crazy.
way.
I'm like, well, if you're crazy, I'm crazy, and we'll be crazy together.
Oh, nice.
So
But early when we first met, he was just barely started to wake up.
barely.
And I was in full, and every time I would share something just like, oh, I experienced this and this is the information I got, and he just sort of, took it in. And I know he doubted. There's no way any human wouldn't doubt such crazy
First
stuff.
off,
But
absolutely.
it was always followed with numerous synchronicities to prove to him when I'm not present by his team and guides that it was as I said it was.
Emma, you still communicate with Emma? Like, what's that like now? Is Emma like your walking earthly guide?
Every now and then she's kind of gone off to do her own thing again, but there's still that energetic connection, that energy cord where I can tap into her if I need to.
Awesome. So help us understand, what is a cosmic narrator, and how do you become one?
Well, how you become one is you tap into the wisdom of your own soul. And that wisdom, that soul you have is connected to the all, to your original main soul, which holds all the experiences of all your existence, all the forms you've ever been. So basically, as I was waking up and going through all these processes and clearings and interactions and other aspects of me and the star family coming, I started logging it down in the journals and basically writing my own Akashic records up until a couple years ago. And so all this was bubbling up, and I just had to get it out. Writing wasn't enough. So I started a YouTube channel and started sharing like crazy. And so that's how that's the term that my guides gave me. You are this cosmic narrator to tell these stories of the soul.
Nice.
So anybody can do it. The more they tap in and understand who they are and explore their soul, a wisdom, then all of us, the world needs to hear our stories.
The world needs to hear our
So what
story.
exactly is your soul mission together as a unit, as a couple?
Good golly, our soul mission is just bettering each other, doing with the soul clearing and everything that we do with our clients. We're just here to
Heal,
teach,
encourage,
remove roadblocks.
huge, yes.
So we cannot do stuff for you, but what we can do is we can remove roadblocks so you can take that next step.
Yes.
So when clients come to you and they work with you, how's that interaction? So for example, client comes to you and they said, well, we want Rob there too. We want both of you there too. What's that like? Do you have so I can paint a picture for when someone's coming to meet you? Do you have like, will they meet with one of you first, or do you just organically get in a rhythm with wherever their energy's picking up? What does that look like?
Oh, we're always together. If they need us together, then we're together right from the beginning. And I just do my thing. My specialty is clearing, and I clear in bulk. I can clear so deep, so vast.
How exactly do you do that?
There's actually a number of steps I go through. I start with the auric fields, and then I go into the toroidal field, and then I do the body, and then all the energy centers and chakras within the body. And then I go to another level deeper yet, where I create a white void, and I put that person in there. Just imagine them hovering in this white void, and I have their inner child come out, and their light body step back. And then the light body, of course, is bigger. So I have them put their hands on the human's shoulder and their inner child. The human will put her hands or him on their inner child. So they're like sandwiched, yet separate. And then I start in creating all the cords, like ancestral, paternal, maternal, past lives, parallel lives, anything that would be a hindrance to them in their ascension journey, I would assign this neon red cord.
So let me ask you this then, because this is very confusing for a lot of people. They say, well, are we living this one life here and now, like right here, or are we living our future lives and our past lives all simultaneous? And if why do they get cleared?
Well, not everyone needs clearing, only some. And I have on occasion put out the call, either to, particularly to the parallel existence soul fractals who have unresolved trauma in whatever form that affects this human in this now. So I'll invite them into the void. And sometimes there is a literal crowd in there.
Yep.
And I do the same process with them.
So let me just ask you this one question. Okay. So if we're living all these lives simultaneous, would there be another part, whether it's the future or the past, that's going through the exact same clearing process?
Not exactly. It would, if they came into the void, it would be the exact same, yes. But if we were reaching out from the void down ancestral lines or past lives, that kind of thing, then it would only apply to the trauma itself, but it would benefit that existence as well as the current lifetime.
So from your understanding, does the fractals, when they come into the void, are they coming from a shell of what we have, or are we the more distinctive role? Like, so is it like, for example, like us right now, right? Like how we're seeing each other in this particular version dimension. Are we the ones the fractals want to merge with, or are we also a fractal that's designed to merge with wherever that other existence is, if that makes sense?
So if you can imagine, like when you're like this body, this is your primary, this is the main one. And then anything that comes out is a fractal part.
But we are also fractals of them.
We're fractals
Right,
of them also.
right.
Got it.
But in this now, you can consider yourself 0 point.
I
got you.
Can you explain 0 point?
That is any now in this timeline of your human existence, you are always the 0 point of your creation.
Yeah.
But they are also their 0 point on their timeline as well.
Are we familiar with each other, or do we bring each other in and we're like, oh, good, you came now, I could have used some help earlier? Or is it like how does that, or they're like, is it just, we're just meeting straight? Like, how does that feel when you bring in the fractals, or what's the feedback from the people when you bring in the fractals? And is the fractal then designed to merge to strengthen out the current existence, or?
No, they don't merge. They go back to their own reality.
Yeah, the way I look at it, fractals are kind of like puzzle pieces of yourself.
Right.
You may not know all of your fractals, so you can.
And they may not know you.
So you can go on journeys and stuff to go find specific fractals, and that is another puzzle piece for you that completes the whole picture. So that's the way I look at fractals.
Give me an example, Rob. Like, so as a fractal, would you have like a fractal that's, let's say, a financier? Would you have a fractal that's a medical doctor? Would you have a fractal that is a bit, are they running?
Or a fractal that's living in the 1920s, or one that's living in 3000?
Correct. Your fractals can be past lives, future lives, parallel dimensions.
Yeah.
They are all over.
Yep.
How many fractals do you believe, with your experience, that you think the average person has? And do we all have the same amount of fractals?
We definitely do not all have the same amount of fractals. It varies from person.
It depends on the age of your soul. Are you a newer soul?
How,
Are
how
you
does
think
someone know the age of their soul?
they would have to ask their own soul that?
Okay.
And they can do that through a journey.
Uh,
They can journey within themselves, either their upper world or lower world, and they can actually meet up with a persona that represents their actual soul and ask these questions because it only can speak the truth. While you're
Go ahead.
thinking, the first thing they say is, why do you humans always make everything so complicated? It's not that complicated.
Mhm.
So, and 2, not to fear. And 3 is the importance of learning your own soul and what you're capable of, because you'll never accomplish what you came here to do without doing that.
Mhm.
So
Right.
my big like aha moment from it at Galactus, like just when you think you're kind of knowing and getting to know yourself, we connect to this one and they're like, who are you? Do you know who you are, who you really are? And I'm like, not really. She's like, you need to find out who you really are on the galactic level.
We actually had an incident a few days ago.
Talk about
days
that later.
Wow.
What happened?
Oh, you do want to hear.
Okay.
All right.
A few days ago.
That's
So-
I heard what he-
So real quick, we had a friend that came over and she's quite inept in seeing things. And she's like, I've been noticing a lot of energy and stuff over there. Little
our
do we
house.
know that somebody or something had been trying to
Connect
with us, and we were kind of pushing off, to the point where this entity was like, I'm getting through. And he came through our mirror
in the dining room.
with such a force, it broke the mirror bracket off. And we were upstairs and we hear this big, huge bang. And we're like, how the heck did this happen? You know, so we had to trace the energy cord back and it's like, why did you do this? And they're like, because I'm trying to tell you something.
Yes. So what happened? We have a tree circle behind our house. We have a forest just feet from our house. And we didn't even discover it till a few years ago. And it's special energy within a tree circle, and there's an upflow vortex in that circle. So we were out one evening enjoying the energy at night with the lights on, and that's when we attracted it. Our combined energy within that tree circle's energy, it just shifts your whole frequency.
Mhm.
And it was attracted, and the only way it could get through all my shields of the house was to come and make a portal in the mirror and come through.
Hmm.
Well, my friend who was here, she was like, you have something really big in your house. And this is before, well, after the mirror broke. So that's how I had to channel it. I said, Rob, you asked the questions. I literally stuck my hands right in it because I could just feel right where it was. And I just stuck my hands in it and I was like, all right, let's talk. And Rob asked the questions and he was attracted to our combined energy that evening within the tree circle, which shifted. And that was definitely one of the things he said why he wanted to connect. He was something from an inner agrarian dark fae. He said he was from a dark fae realm. He goes, now not dark doesn't mean evil. It's just
Dark.
Yeah.
either or. So, but he just was attracted to our energy and he was so intrigued. He found his way in through the mirror and he just kept saying, what are you?
You know what's so fascinating as we're having these conversations? I mean, if you think about it, I mean, look, we're having these conversations very normally, right? Like very in there, but a lot of people don't have these kind of conversations. What would life be like for you? I mean, if you would imagine your life where this wasn't part of your existence, do you ever think about that at all? Or is this that's just not even a possibility? You know what I mean? Do you like these conversations about, let me release you, you got to go, you know, the mirror, you know what I mean? You know, there's so many people that don't process like that, or they think they're going crazy or nuts. For you two, you've normalized it. Is that a fair way of saying?
Right.
Oh, absolutely. I knew early on when I would look at myself in the mirror in the eyes, there was just this big gaping hole, like, what? there's something missing. I'm not getting something. But I've always had experiences, and then I would bury them because it would be so weird. And so I always knew that there was more to life than meets the eye.
Mhm.
So when I finally got to a stage where I could investigate that and really get the truth, I went in head first and never looked back. So that's just me, and I love it. So I eat, sleep, and breathe it 24/7.
What about Rob? Rob, does it make
Yeah,
you?
so absolutely. Prior to me awakening, prior to me not knowing any of this, yeah, you just kind of go through life. You don't even notice anything. You don't even notice these energies and stuff. And then
tell
when
you.
I started waking up, and they're like, "Oh, you feel this energy, you feel that shift." Then you start thinking about it, and you're like, "Oh,
Then you start seeing
that's what
things.
all those meant back then when I kind of looked this way or kind of looked that way." So yeah, so if you don't know what to look for, what to feel, then yeah, it's hard
Process.
yeah, there's something here we need to connect to this.
I got
Mhm.
you.
Before we're just coming down to close, one last question. For those that are just starting to wake up and they're just starting to feel that like, oh, that was kind of weird, or they feel something. What suggestions do you have for people that are just starting to wake up so they don't think they're going crazy?
Find a mentor, find somebody to talk to.
Find your spiritual community, your soul family. And
Mhm.
I actually put together an organization. It's the B4 Federation, and it's on my website. And I have built or beginning to build this community for people waking up in various stages. And they're all there. I'm there like all the time. And I meet twice a month for a call like this, so everybody can get to
Get
meet each
together
other
and
and talk.
Mhm.
And so this is a safe place, and I use Signal, for all the texting. So there's always somebody there to answer a question. Everybody's in different. You got an orb. You going?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
something going on
Yeah,
there,
there's
isn't
couple orbs. So anyways, that's what's really needed now for everybody who's waking up, is to find your soul community and create it one way or another.
Mhm.
Whether you come here or go there, just seek out those soul family.
I couldn't agree more.
Rob, any final words before you love and leave us, brother?
No, not at this moment. Not at this moment. My mind is just
You got a lot.
Thank you for everything you two do, for speaking openly, honestly, and bringing all of these facets of wisdom and knowledge, and all the other people that you bring on that share their wisdom and knowledge that people really need to hear. They need to hear
We
this.
so
appreciate
much.
that. It's
Thank
definitely
you.
a privilege to get to meet soul sisters and brothers like you. And again, back at you. Thank you for your service. And really, most importantly, thank you for the courage, because that's way showing stuff right there to show other people it's okay to get out there. We're a couple, we're doing it. And don't worry about what other people think. This is our life, this is how we live. And you can see as you're both doing it, that the playfulness, the joy, the love, and can it be as
Yeah.
simple as that? And you've been
Yeah.
showing us that. So thank you both for your service too.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And together with Holly and Rob's wisdom, we are turning the universal key to global harmony and creating a unified world. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, tune in often, tell all your friends, and most importantly, may all your dreams come true. Many blessings.
Namaste.
Namaste. Much love.